Hi, welcome to Microsoft Build 2017. I'm Michael Saunders. I'm a program manager on the Office platform team. This talk is for people who prefer to skip the documentation sometimes, or who don't really like installing stuff. It's for folks who don't love setting up dev environments and people who don't like to spend more than 10 minutes figuring out whether something's possible or not. I'm about to show you Script Lab. That's a tool that anyone can use who wants to learn more about the Office add-ins and the JavaScript API. It's used in Excel, Word, and PowerPoint. It's available for your Mac and your PC, and also you can use it online with your browser. So it's the kind of tool that you can use as a complete beginner, just to learn more about Office add-ins. And it's something that, if you're a total pro, that's great too. You can use it to whip up a quick prototype for the add-in that you're planning to build. I'm going to show you a demo now. I'd like you to follow along with me if you'd like. You can go to aka.ms/scriptlab. It's really easy to install. Get it quick from the Office store. And if you'd like, you can follow along or just watch me as I go. Let me switch to Excel. So first, you'll see the Script Lab tab. There are a bunch of buttons here available. This is what you get once you install Script Lab from the Office store. Most important ones here on the top left, Code and Run. So I'm going to click the Code button here. And let me expand the window so that we can see a little better what's going on in here. So you'll notice this is JavaScript here. You might see a couple extra features here. We have the async and await keywords and some other things. These are TypeScript features that aren't in vanilla JavaScript. And if you don't know what those are, don't worry about it. Script Lab is totally compatible with just plain vanilla JavaScript. So if you'd prefer to write with that, it's totally fine. But there are some great TypeScript features that we have included. So feel free to use that too. Let's take a look at what this code is actually meant to do. We have get selected range. So first, we're going to get the user's selection, and then change the fill color to yellow. Get that address, and then print it out to the console. Pretty simple. So let's actually run this code and see what happens. I'm going to click the Run button here to bring up Run, and click the snippet that we're using. And there's the Run pane. It came up right beside the code pane, so you can work on both at the same time. I'm going to click Run Code now and see what happens. So as we expected, selected cell here was A1. Change that color to yellow. And it wrote out the address here, sheet 1, cell A1. So that was written to the console. You can see at the bottom there, that's using actually the Firebug Lite console. And so you can write out anything you'd like you would normally with a console. Next thing I'm going to do is make a change in the JavaScript code. So we're going to start off pretty simple. Maybe change the color from yellow to one of my favorite colors, pound 00FFCC. And as you can see, the refresh prompt came up on the Run pane here. And now when I select a new location and run the code again, as you see, there's my new beautiful 00FFCC color. Let's get a little more complex about what we're actually changing in this code. Say instead of getting the selected range, I want to actually get a specific range of cells. Maybe I'll type in some sample data here. Nothing better than A, B, C, D, E, F for sample data, right? And then we're going to change this get selected range to I'll get the specific range from a worksheet. Worksheets. We're going to get the active worksheet. That's the one the user is currently working on. And you can see as I'm doing this, the IntelliSense is showing up. This is actually using the Monaco editor, the same one that's used in VS Code. And so you can really discover what methods are available to you and properties as you're writing this thing. So it's really handy. Sometimes you don't even need to look at the documentation. And that range that I want to do, let's say not the whole thing, maybe just part of it. If I go B5 through C6, that should be a good range to get. And then maybe rather than loading the address, let's actually take the values from that range. And so then this is no longer correct. So I need to go the values in the range were. And then we'll change this to actually output the values to the console. And then maybe one last change here. I will write out the some new data into that range rather than the values that are there now. So I can go range.values equals, and then I'll enter my 2D array. These are new values. OK. I think I did that correctly. Oh, there's why it's telling me there's an error. Some nice error notification there. And I should have done everything right. We will see. If I refresh this task pane now and run the code, there we go. So highlighted the range that I specified and overrode it with the these are new values text. And you can see in the console here, it wrote the values that used to be in that range, A, B, D, E. And so if I were to run this again, of course, now it's going to just overwrite those and put in the console, these are new values, what I had there before. There's really tons that the script lab can do. I can't even begin to show you all the capabilities and things you could do with, of course, with the Office JavaScript API. But you could imagine adding logic here. You could add loops, whatever you want. Even there's a libraries tab. And you have the capability to, say, include NPM packages in your snippet. The last thing I'm going to show you is the template tab. This is actually a place where you can change the HTML for the run page. So here you can see on the right, there's some really simple UI that just runs a bunch of code. And what we're going to do is change that by adding an input field. So instead of me entering the color, oh, not input field, input, and give it some ID. Instead of me entering the color manually in JavaScript, we are just going to have the user enter it themselves. And so I think I've done that right. Let's go to the script tab again. And here I'm going to use some jQuery, if I do this right, to get the value from the input field. I think that's right. And then I say val. OK. So there's my IntelliSense again, giving me the val function. OK, and I think that's good. One last touch. We want to spice up the UI a little. So let's enter some nice visuals in here, too. And so now when I refresh, I should see an input field. And here we go. There's the input field that I expected. Now I'm going to enter another color. Pound, let's see, one of my other favorite colors. Yes, pound DECAF 0. And then when I run that code, it has entered my new color there in the cells and wrote out these are the new values. And so that you could see my incredible UI design capabilities, I want to make sure you can see some nice data from the web. Always welcome in Script Lab and in development for Office. Some other beautiful features of Script Lab are, of course, the wealth of samples that you have available to you in the Samples tab. So I showed you basic API call, but there's everything from report generation to dealing with ranges, dealing with tables, adding charts. For more information, of course, you can go up here to the reference docs for APIs. Or if you want to solve something really complex, go ask the community on Stack Overflow with this button right here to see how to solve your particular problem. But another great feature here is you can actually share the snippet that you built. So here, maybe I'll title this Michael's Snippet and save that. And then I'm going to sign in to GitHub so I can actually share this through GitHub. Let me just authenticate. So now I'm signed into Script Lab with GitHub. And that actually lets me share to a GitHub gist. So I shared, and there's the URL that I can use. Let me copy that. And we can view it on GitHub right now, or you could just import it on another machine or anywhere else. You could post that on Stack Overflow if you'd like. I'm going to bring up Office Online here. This is in my browser, where ScriptLab is available just like it is on the desktop. And when I bring up the code pane here, it's going to let me enter that GitHub gist URL into an import tab. So if I go to import here, enter that URL, and then click import, and there's my code that I just wrote. I can run that too, open the run pane, click the snippet, and just like we had on the desktop, I can enter my favorite color, blue, run the code, and there it is right in the spreadsheet. So that's all I wanted to show you. You're highly encouraged to go try this thing out yourself. It's free to download from the Office store. You can go to aka.ms/scriptlab to get it yourself. Next time you want to do anything with the Office JavaScript APIs, please try it. It's a Microsoft Garage project, so it's completely open source. You can log issues for us on GitHub. You can even contribute to the code if you'd like to. I hope you have fun experimenting with the Office JavaScript APIs and have fun coding.